The summertime is often referred to as the season of ghosts in Japan. They will honor the spirits of their deceased ancestors with big folk dance events called Obon festivals, or simply Bon festivals as well. Having attended a handful of them myself during these past summer months, it has inspired me to dip back into my yokai series by creating my own take on Chochin Obakes. So join me on my creative process, as well as to know more about these spooky ghost lanterns from Japanese folklore. This is jackyllofhyde presents the Yokai series. I was searching online and found these awesome 3D printed mini paper lanterns. They are exactly what I need to achieve the look I'm going for this project. I normally would try and sculpt these myself, but you'll see why later on that this is the best direction I chose to go with. I will also be using these tiny glass cabochons to make the eyes. First things first is to make the eyes themselves before I can attach them on, with the little black dot for the pupils. Now for the secret ingredient, glow powder. I'm kinda digging this green and teal color, so we're gonna go with those. Time now to mix them with some UV resin. I'm being a bit more heavy-handed here with the powder, just so I can make sure I end up with a very bright glow. Chochin is what you call a certain type of lantern. When this paper lantern grows old with age, it has been said that it would turn into a type of spirit. A split across the middle would appear, becoming a mouth, and out comes a long protruding tongue, while also growing 1 to 2 eyes. Some instances would describe a Chochin growing arms, a torso, and even wings, but this is very rare. Now with the eyes made, I can attach them to the lantern by using this air drying paper clay. Since I'm building upon a 3D printed plastic, popping this in the oven with polymer clay would not be a good idea. If you ever worked with paper mache before, this works the same way in a more finer texture. At some point after I finished sculpting all 4 lanterns, I remember that I wanted them to glow and light up just like real lanterns. As much as I liked how the eyes turned out, the light is not going to shine through where I added the clay. Thankfully, I had bought a second set just in case, and I will start over again with plan B. First by marking out where my eye placement will be, as well as the size, then it's hollowing out the hole. Securing the eyes with some super glue along the edges. With this first one done, I'll make the rest of them using the same process. With my newly acquired gang of one-eyed spooks, time to add the slit mount. Here I'm just tediously opening up the gaping mouth, being careful not to break the connecting part in the back. So here are my 2 versions of Chochins. The rest of this video I'll just be focusing on finishing version 2. With a little bit of Cosclay, I can now sculpt out the tongues. After a quick bake, I now have all my pieces made. It's time to paint. The Chochin Obake came about during the Edo period. Their existence and influence live on through art, literature, and the many stories told about them. A common belief is that they were a character created to entertain children, which is not surprising, since the Edo period was a time where scary stories became very popular. Back to the painting, I'm using water-based acrylics that have been heavily watered down to paint my lanterns. This will give them an old, worn-out effect, as well as keeping it light enough for light to shine through when I make them glow. Chochin Obakes are mainly harmless. They rarely attack people physically, and prefer to surprise or scare others. Their odd and goofy nature has made them iconic and definitely well known in the world of yokai. Finishing up the last bits by painting the top and bottom ends black. To make my display, I'm repurposing this old wooden frame I got from one of my many thrift store finds. A couple of paper straws, and lastly some fairy lights. First thing is to drill a couple holes for the straws, marking where my placements will be. Once that looks good, I can secure everything with some hot glue. This final detail is not entirely necessary, but I would like to make a cover to hold the battery and make this area look a lot more polished. To create this, I'm using a sheet of cardstock paper, then it's just measuring and cutting it out. Using an awl running along the edges to have nicer creases for my fold line. Just roughly sketching and cutting out some finger holes for accessibility. Then trim off any unwanted excess. We now have a cover. Time to cover everything with a matte black. And a little brown for the two poles. With everything now finally dry, time to put it all together. The wires were too far apart between each light, so I'm just twisting them for a better fit. And that'll do it. Let's see the final look. I liked how this turned out. It's hard to capture this on video, but it glows super well in the dark. Since these are modeled after lanterns, they should light up like regular lanterns. So let's see it in action. Hope you enjoyed this simple but fun piece I did about Chochin Obakes. Let me know what you think of them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a like, consider subscribing for more videos like this in the future, and check out my other yokai related projects I've done in the past as well, which should be showing up on your screen right about now. A big thank you to you as always for watching, hoping you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.